Whoa, she's really cute. We'd like to have kids soon too. I wonder what it feels like to become a parent.
My husband says this to me with a gentle expression. But this is all an act, so this man must have a terrible personality. I know everything. It's about time to peel off the good husband's disguise. Why don't you know? Aren't you the father of this baby? When I said that, everybody froze. And then, I presented the evidence of the two of them in front of everyone. My in-law's face turned red instantly.
What on earth have you done?
A roar of anger echoed through the room. This was the beginning of my revenge. My name is Grace, a 34-year-old office worker. I've been married to Toby for 2 years. We met at the group blind date, where he made his move, and we eventually started dating. Our relationship smoothly progressed, and after a year and a half of dating, we decided to get married. When he proposed, I felt an incredible happiness. I was convinced that I could have a happy marriage with this kind-hearted man. I never doubted that. Congratulations on your marriage, big sis. Thank you, Aria. So you're finally a bride, huh? It's about time. What do you mean by that? I'm praising you. After all, you've been acting as my guardian. Now you can live happily as someone's wife, which is wonderful. Well, that's true. Aria is my sister, 8 years younger than me. Our mother passed away from an illness when we were still young. Since then, we lived in a single-parent household with our father. At that time, I was in my first year of high school, and my sister was in her first year of elementary school. So after school, I always rushed home, went to the supermarket with my sister, prepared dinner, and took care of her until our father came home. I worked hard, thinking I had to stay strong since our mother was no longer with us. But it was never a burden. My father always thanked me, and my sister was pretty attached to me. For dinner, I prepared simple meals, so I had time for schoolwork and to play with or help my sister with her studies. That's how I took care of the housework and my sister, acting as a mother since I was in high school. Indeed, as my sister said, it's a miracle and a joy that I'm getting married. Toby is kind and a very good person. He's bright, friendly, and has good communication skills, making the atmosphere better just by being there. I felt joyful to date someone like him, let alone marry him. I was incredibly happy when he proposed. Soon after, we went to greet his parents. Nice to meet you. I'm Grace. Thanks for coming. We are Toby's parents. We are delighted that such a beautiful person is becoming our son's fiancé. Oh, no. I wouldn't say I'm beautiful. You don't have to be so modest.
You've been looking after your sister and doing the housework, right? That's very commendable.
I heard that your father also passed away 3 years ago. You must have gone through a lot. Yet you've been working so hard. That's admirable. His parents were really kind, and I immediately liked my in-laws. Then, we arranged a meeting for them to meet my sister, and the 5 of us, including me, my sister, Toby, and his parents had a meal together. His parents were very nice to my sister too.
Both of you are now our family. You can rely on me and my wife like real parents.
Thank you so much. My sister seemed to like my in-laws too, enjoying the meal together. Then, Toby and I had our wedding. Friends and co-workers attended, making it a happy ceremony. Afterward, we went on our honeymoon, and our married life began when we returned. Married life with my kind husband was very enjoyable. Since we both work, I discussed sharing household chores with my husband, and he happily agreed. He had lived alone for a long time, so he was capable of handling household chores. He's good at cooking, and for some dishes, he's even better than me. I love the chicken curry he makes with care, and I request it once a week. Since we both can do household chores, it reduces the burden, and maintaining a good work-life balance wasn't a problem. On days off, we go on dates or watch movies at home, leading a very happy married life. Our marriage continued smoothly. We regularly visited my in-laws, deepening our relationship with them. My in-laws are truly kind and treat me very well. There is no bullying at all. Instead, they care about my sister too, inviting her along for a barbecue at their home, not just me and my husband. Thanks to them, my sister could join and enjoy family time too. I was glad we could become close as families. Seeing my only blood-related family happy was genuinely pleasing. Before I knew it, 2 years had passed in our marriage. Even after 2 years, our marriage was good, and I felt happy. However, recently, my husband's work became busier, and he started coming home late. His overtime increased, and there were more days he didn't eat dinner. He often had to go out for drinks or order takeout or delivery to eat at his company. So we could only have meals together on weekends. It would be a lie to say I felt lonely. But my husband is working hard to bring money home, so I couldn't blame him. Grace, what's wrong? Sorry for asking you to come all of a sudden. I've been feeling a little lonely lately because I haven't been able to have meals with Toby as much. Oh, is he busy with work? Yes, it seems so. That's why I couldn't tell him I'm feeling lonely. Yeah, but I think it's better to honestly say what you're feeling. Otherwise, it might not get through to him. Maybe he doesn't know you're feeling this sad. I see. And so, I decided to talk to my husband as my sister advised. Then, my husband apologized to me.
I'm sorry for making you feel sad like that. I'll reflect on it.
No, don't be so formal. I understand you're busy with work.
But
I'm happy just knowing you understand how I feel.
Grace, thank you. But for example, on weekdays like Tuesday or Wednesday, I will try to come home without doing overtime. But on Fridays, everybody usually does overtime, and we go out for drinks after that. So can I prioritize my work on those days?
Yes, of course. Thank you for trying to make time for me. I was glad I talked to my husband. I was a bit anxious that he might get upset or angry, but my kind-hearted husband wouldn't do that. I should trust my husband more and be open with my feelings. Aria, thank you. Thanks to your advice, I feel much better. Toby listened to me and said he would make improvements. See? I told you so. I never thought I'd be saved by you, 8 years younger than me. Well, I'm 26 now, so I've got my own experiences. Right. You're always more popular. My sister has a beautiful face and has had many boyfriends since her student days. So in terms of a romantic experience, my sister is more experienced. As an older sister, I'm excited and curious about what kind of person my sister will marry in the future. However, I felt a bit of discomfort regarding my husband. It was about his possessions. Lately, he's been buying expensive items, like luxury brand bags and expensive clothes. He's very concerned about his appearance, trying to look cool. Not that it's a bad thing in itself, but my husband wasn't the type to be interested in such things. So why did his taste suddenly change? I had a bad feeling about this. I felt uneasy. My uneasiness grew, and I made a decision. That was to have a detective agency investigate my husband. He was still very kind to me, but at that time, I couldn't fully trust him. If the investigation came out to be nothing, so be it. After that, I spent days filled with uneasiness, and every single action my husband made seemed suspicious. You're going out even though it's your day off.
Yes, I've been invited to the department head's house today, so I won't need lunch. Maybe I won't need dinner either.
I see. Even more suspicious. We've never been invited to the department head's house before. And despite going to such a place, my husband seemed happy. I prayed that my husband wasn't cheating on me, but I became overwhelmed with the anxiety that my intuition might be right. 2 weeks later, the result from the detective agency arrived. I couldn't hide my shock when I saw the photos. It couldn't be. I looked at the photos again and again. There they were, my husband and my sister. I didn't want this truth. Maybe the detective made a mistake. The more I heard, the more it became clear that my husband and sister's actions were those of people having an affair, like entering a hotel together and going to my sister's place, and there was no denying it. Furthermore, it was revealed that during the days my husband said he was on a business trip, he was actually on a trip with my sister. Knowing such a terrible truth, I was in shock. Not only was my husband having an affair, but his affair partner was my sister. I was in a daze for a while. Not wanting to see my husband, I rented a cheap hotel to stay in. My husband sent me worried messages, but I didn't want to reply. After spending a night alone and regaining some composure, I decided to go home.
I'm glad you're back. I was worried. Why did you suddenly leave the house?
Oh, I just wanted to be alone.
Do you have any worries? I'm here to listen. Maybe something happened at work?
My husband spoke to me kindly like that. How can he be so amiable when he's cheating on me with my sister? I couldn't understand what kind of person my husband was. What was he thinking? And my sister too. She sent me a message sounding concerned. Grace, what's wrong? If something's bothering you, let me know. I suddenly didn't care about anything anymore. These two must be laughing at me behind my back. Then something even more surprising happened. One day, my sister suddenly contacted me, saying she had something to talk about. Could she be declaring their affair? Despite my fears, I met with my sister. Then she made a shocking statement. Actually, I'm pregnant. What? Pregnant? Who's the father? My boyfriend, of course. You have a boyfriend? Is it the company employee you mentioned before? No. I broke up with him. Actually, I hadn't told you, but I have a new boyfriend. What kind of person is he? He's kind and fun to be with. But when I told him I was pregnant, he disappeared. Disappeared? Yeah. I thought he was someone I could trust, but that's terrible. I see. So that's how you're trying to deceive me. Unaware that I've realized my husband's affair with her, she boldly lies. I was disappointed with my sister. Why would she do something like stealing her own sister's husband? I felt an immense anger towards my sister and husband. I decided to take revenge no matter what. Pretending not to know anything, I kept a friendly facade towards both of them while collecting evidence. Soon, my sister gave birth to the baby. There was talk of celebrating the birth when my sister is discharged. So we gathered at my in-laws for the celebration.
Whoa, she's really cute.
My husband held the baby happily. My in-laws also looked at the baby with joy. Aria is really something. Even after the baby's father ran away, you decided to give birth and raise the child alone.
That's not something anyone can just do. I respect you deeply, and we'll support you as much as we can.
Thank you, Toby's mom and dad.
You don't have to say Toby's every time.
That's right. You can just call me Mom. Thank you. I'm happy to be accepted into the family like this. Please dote on this child as if she is your own grandchild. Of course, she's undeniably cute.
For sure she is.
My parents became tender holding my sister's baby. Then my husband spoke to me.
I want us to have children soon too someday. I wonder what it feels like to become a parent.
My husband said this to me with a gentle expression. But this is all an act, so this man must have a terrible personality. I know everything. It's about time to peel off the good husband's disguise. Oh, why don't you know? Aren't you the father of this baby?
What?
When I said that, the room fell silent.
What are you saying, Grace?
Grace, are you saying Toby is the father of this baby? Don't make baseless accusations. My sister and husband immediately denied it. My in-laws told me it wasn't the time for such tasteless jokes, but I didn't back down. Unfortunately, I have evidence of Aria and Toby's affair. Then I presented the evidence in front of everyone. Photos of my husband and sister together, going into a hotel arm in arm, and entering my sister's place. I showed an even more definitive evidence. A video of my husband and sister being intimate in the room I share with my husband. What are you playing?
Stop it!
My husband and sister panicked, trying to snatch my phone. This happened while I was on a business trip. I had installed surveillance cameras in the house after I found out the truth. Sure enough, they were getting cozy at home. My in-laws' faces turned red. Then my father-in-law shouted at my husband.
What on earth have you done?
His voice echoed with anger. My husband looked down awkwardly, and my sister froze with a pale face. This was the beginning of my revenge. I would demand compensation from Toby and Aria. So you are going to take compensation from your own sister, 8 years younger than you? Yes, because you betrayed your own sister. You deserve it. I've already sent a letter of notification to each of your workplaces.
What?
So everyone at work will know about the affair.
Why would you do that?
Well, a notification is necessary for the procedures.
You don't have to send it to our workplaces.
Do you think you can do such a thing and not have everybody find out?
Grace is right. You should reflect on what you have done. You should experience being treated coldly by others to realize how low your actions were. But Aria said she wanted to go out for drinks, suggesting something was up. So I decided to go out once. I enjoyed it more than I imagined. And before I knew it, I fell in love.
Ah, I'm disgusted. Aria, why did you try to steal my husband? I had no intention of stealing him. But as I talked to Toby, I gradually fell in love. I knew it was wrong, but I still wanted to meet him, thinking any excuse would do. It was enough just talking at first, but then we couldn't stop ourselves. Enough. So you're both prone to easily fall into affairs. I'm thoroughly disgusted with you both. Go ahead and love each other as much as you want, but be prepared to pay the appropriate price. I said this and left my in-laws' house with my bag. My sister and husband were frozen, pale-faced. My in-laws chased after me, apologizing. But it wasn't their fault. It was my husband's and my sister's. They agreed to help with the divorce and ensured the compensation would be paid. Through my lawyer, I proceeded with the divorce and demanding compensation, which both my husband and sister accepted quietly. But my husband lost his company's trust due to this incident and was transferred to a manual labor department in the countryside. Therefore, my sister had to quit her job and follow him. Now they live and work in an unfamiliar place, paying compensation while raising a child on a small salary. Their life is quite tough, and they seem to be struggling both physically and mentally. My sister has sent several emails asking for help, but I ignore them all. They got what they deserved, and it served them right. Meanwhile, I've focused on my work and recently got promoted. What happened was a huge shock, but I'm looking forward to moving on and enriching my private life while diving deeper into my career. Thank you for watching until the end. If you liked it, please subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.